with Matthew from Lucky Oyster here in Fremont. First of all, it's Matthew's birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to talk today about customer development and kind of the importance of learning from your customers before you actually release a product and how Lucky Oyster has dealt with that over the past several months. So first, Matthew, why don't you just tell us a little about Lucky Oyster? What do you guys do?
Sure. Lucky Oyster today is an app for iPhone so far, and it helps you manage, discover, and share great experiences in your life. They could be low stakes items like a great product that someone recommends to you, or high stakes items like what neurologist you're going to go see. And it helps you live a richer life by keeping track of recommendations and helping you share them.
Cool. So I know you expressed to me that you guys kind of went through some very unique, like 6-hour sessions with your customers and really like spent a lot of time learning from them before making any big decisions with the application. Can you tell us a little about that experience?
Yeah, our entire methodology has been live or die by your customers, but it's both live and die by your customers. So literally the first day we started thinking about this product, we took a hypothesis along with a couple of paper mocks out to a Starbucks, and we lured in some folks and we spent 6 hours just talking to people. And beyond talking to them, we actually watched them use their phones and in some cases laptops, and looked behind them, and we basically asked them, well, what do you do in your life when someone gives you a recommendation, or how do you manage the things you want to do? And so we literally started with that intense focus on what our customers are doing today. And one of the reasons we did that is we don't want to recreate the wheel. We already have existing behavior around recommendations. We do it all the time. So we wanted to understand how potentially our product could be inserted into behavior people already have.
Okay, so when you started out, did you guys have an application that you showed people, or what was that process like when you first said, here's our idea and we want to validate or unvalidate what we're doing?
Yeah, a key learning for us is you need to be able to throw out your creations, and we've done that time and time again. On day one, we went out with 3 paper prototypes. Day 2, we went out with more paper prototypes that were iterated upon. Eventually, we moved to sort of a webified alpha, and then we moved to a mobile web, and eventually to an app. But you basically go out and your tools are literally either pieces of paper, observation based upon apps or utilities they already use, or very low cost demos or mock-ups of what you want to try.
Okay, and so now you released the iPhone app a couple weeks ago. And so what's your process been like? I know that it's a lot of us, especially entrepreneurs, like we're really good at validating up front, and then we get what we think we need, and then it becomes this, faith-based instead of fact-based decision. So how do you, now that you guys have an application out, you've obviously spent a lot of time developing it, how do you iterate now, and what's that process like?
Yeah, I would say that the 2 things that are important to us, number one, now that you have an app out in the world, there's a rhythm to it. So especially if it's going to be for an Apple environment, iOS, you need to release and have it approved. And so that for us has built a cycle. And the cycle is we prepare a new release, we've already done that, it goes to review, and you basically get anywhere from a couple of days to a week or more where you can go back and think about the next version, what you've learned. The other bit that's super important is from the beginning, we built up a panel of about 100 users. We can call them up on the phone, we can email them, we can invite them into the office or track them down where they live. And we basically work with them to decide, is what we have working for them? And we try and balance that with, you talk about faith versus fact. I think entrepreneurs it's all a leap of faith anyway. But the other thing that we do in addition to having that panel of people we can talk to is we instrumented the heck out of our app. And so everything is tagged as an event. We use Flurry and a couple other tools. And we can see what people are doing, we can see the paths they take, we can see the funnels. It's not unlike if you were going to build a website. In mobile, the events are a little more finicky because they're much more granular. There are flicks you do with your thumb that are really important, or buttons that you press that are unlike some of the broader stuff we're used to tracking.
Okay. So capturing data is obviously really important. You guys use a bunch of different tools out there. It sounds like Flurry. Where do you keep all that data? Like, is it stored in like a spreadsheet somewhere, or how do you guys analyze that?
Yeah, because we're a startup, we do everything. So we note stuff on the board, we use Post-it notes, occasionally we'll use Google Docs, we use Flurry, we check our stuff on the server. It's a ton of tools and they're all slightly different. The spreadsheets are great for us when we track feedback. And so it's really catch as catch can for the time being.
Okay, so is there any kind of last nugget of wisdom you'd like to impart on some of the entrepreneurs out there about customer development?
Yeah, again, the key learnings for us are it is okay to throw away what you have, and it's okay to modify your hypothesis. And if you iterate incrementally upon your assumptions, and you do that keeping yourselves honest about whether or not it's going to work for customers and fit into their behavior, then we believe it keeps you on a good track. So for us, even getting to the release of a native app, that is just getting to the starting gate. And so our philosophy is always, you are at the starting gate, right? It's never complete. There's always iteration and improvement. And we already know, like day in, day out, being in a startup for us is being ready to let go of those inventions because they may not be the right inventions yet, and being ready to iterate on them. And always, we assume that we're wrong most of the time, and we let customer behavior try and prove us right. And so even at the point at which we are, 6 months in, we have an app out in the market, there are some things that we know are working really, really well, and other things that we literally lose sleep over and hammer on every day.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks for having me out. This has been awesome. Yeah, this is Matthew from Lucky Oyster.
Thanks.